Do you regard black magic as being purely fictitious, or is there some truth in it?
Some truth. 100% truth. There is nothing fictitious about black magic, in any way whatever. It is a fact. It is a fact which has existed for several thousand years. I mean, when we talk about black magic, we are talking about Satanism, necromancy, alchemy, witchcraft, the worship of Satan, the worship...
Now, when I started this channel, the idea was just to bring the Gematria to everybody and assume that everybody had knowledge of it already. However, I've realised that I'm getting a lot of questions asking me why these numbers are important and how you use them, which are all perfectly valid questions, because it is confusing at first. So what I'm going to try and do is explain in my own words why Gematria is so important and how to use it. Additionally, I'm going to put a link in the description to a video that's about an hour long, and it's on Gematria for beginners. And if you're really serious about this, I would advise you watch this, as it is extremely informative and it breaks it down in a really streamlined way. It's by Rabbi Jacobson. Now, first things first, the word Gematria comes from the Greek word Gematria, which is to do with geometry and the study of numbers. But what Gematria does is refer to the power and energy that lie in the numbers behind each letter. Now, if you're familiar with the work of Zach, he always says that the Kabbalah states God created the world by merging words, letters and numbers. And I'm personally not here to debate the cosmology of the universe. However, all I know is that if we're looking for a universally applicable concepts that help us understand the world around us, then numbers are by far the best. You know, where did numbers come from? Why is 1 1? Why is 2 2? Why isn't 3 1? When you try to dig into the origin of numbers, you don't really get that far. It seems to be this sort of metaphysical way to quantify data, so to speak. But it goes a lot deeper than that, and people have known that for a long time, i.e. Pythagoras and whatnot, but that knowledge is typically suppressed. Because maths, as they say, is the language of the universe. So then it only seems logical to me to suggest that the language of the universe and our very written language are connected. Now, there's a really good quote by W.E.B. Du Bois. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Great guy. And he said, when you have mastered numbers, you will in fact no longer be reading numbers any more than you read words when reading books. You'll be reading meanings. Okay, so these numbers have meanings, and people have known this for years. It's just been kept from you, like everything else. But everything's coming out the rabbit hole now. The cat's out the bag. It really is. So basically what I'm going to do is just show you some codes in the English language that interested me, first of all, and hopefully give you a little inclination as to how to go about finding some of these and how to use them and what they mean and how you can spot them every day. Because let me tell you, I switch the news on every day and I can decode it in 2 seconds. It's not difficult. The amount of times I've told my girlfriend when something's going to happen on a day, purely because of the numerology. You can quite literally predict this matrix and the outcomes on the matrix based on the numbers. It's that simple. This world is simply a quantum number generator. But we're not going to discuss that today. We're just going to be talking about the English language. First of all, I just want to just give a little background. As you can see here, English is the most spoken language, and English comes from Latin, so English was standardized at 26 characters after the fall of the Roman Empire, and you can look that up more if you want to. So hence we're told English is the offspring of Latin, and the term alphabet comes from the first 2 letters in Latin, which is alpha and beta. Now, as you can see here, English is the most spoken language in the world, so it only seems fit that it is the most encoded. Just a few points here on some etymology in the English language. As you can see here, spelling, spell, i.e. to cast a spell. People write in cursive, cursing ourselves with our spelling while writing in cursive. Rite, i.e. rite as in rites of initiation. We write these cursive spellings. We write these words in cursive with spellings. See how that works? And we form sentences like a jail sentence, locking yourself down. And we use grammar, which comes from the French word grimoire, which, as you can see here, is a manual for invoking demons. This is just a little slice of some of the shit that's piled into the English language. Stuff we say every day and continuously curse ourselves with that we have no idea of. When you start breaking down words, you can really see what's going on. Even the term bless you literally is be less you. And words like pray in the religious sense, but then pray in the hunting sense. I mean, are we praying to a god or a deity? Or are we willingly offering ourselves up to have our energy harvested, in turn transforming us into prey? Who knows? It's definitely thought-provoking, I know that. Now, I'm sure everybody here knows what a thesaurus is, or thesaurus, however you want to say it. But you might not know what that word actually means. Now, the theo comes from the word theos in Greek, which relates to the study of the divine, or God. Hence we get theology. And as you can see here, saurus from ancient Greek, or sauros, lizard, reptile. So this word thesaurus, something that we use a lot in English classes in school, something I'm sure a lot of people have in their house. It literally means lizard god. God lizard. The book of the the book of the god lizard, the book of the lizard god, however you want to put it, is pretty self-explanatory. It's the book of the Dracos, it's the book of the reptilians, it's a book of spells, people. And it's in the word. That's why I be telling people, man, you need to break down words. You need to know etymology, because it gives the game away. It really does. It gives the game away. Symbolism will be their downfall, but you know what? So will etymology. Also, when you think about the amount of government bodies that start with a negative prefix, i.e. NATO, the UN, NASA, this is all done by design. Because the powers that be know that the language we use literally changes the formation and chemical compound of our brain, and in turn shapes our reality. So they're shaping our reality through the words we speak, and we don't even know it. Well, I mean, I know it, and a bunch of people know it, but the majority of people don't know it. Also, the word dictionary, it's not an accident that the word dick is at the beginning, yeah, much like dictator. Remember, we live in a system that is built upon the destruction of the sacred feminine and the veneration of the patriarch. As I've shown before, all phallic symbology we see all over the world, from London, Vatican, DC, it's a direct tribute to the male dominance over Mother Earth, or Gaia, whatever you want to call her. We no longer have dominion on this planet. We gave that up a long time ago to a group of extremely nefarious people with some friends in some very high places, and I'm not talking about higher physical places, I'm talking about high dimensions. On this planet, emotions are seen as weak. Boys and men are typically told to hide your emotions. Women are told, you're too emotional. And that's because emotions, or energy in motion, is a problem for them. Especially when we start to understand how to direct that flow of energy and enhance it and use it. Right, that's my little spiel. Let's get into the meat of this.